Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here. Now, the football gods, I'm in the habit of always saying wake them up, but I've got them down here right now because we've got one of them going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in a couple of weeks. And Joe Boo Sports Report will be there. And I've been at many different NFL events, but I'm going to be there in a completely different role. I won't be just Joe the fan. I will actually have press credentials and will give you guys a behind-the-scenes look at everything that is the Hall of Fame. And I feel so honored, so thankful, so blessed, and so humbled because of it. But in the meantime, I got up this morning. I've got to hit the road. I've got to go help my daughter, her house. She's got some problems that I need to fix. And my life is constantly on the go and constantly trying to get everything done. It was funny this morning that I saw this over here, which was kind of cool when you think about the conversation we used to have with Eagle fans or listening to guys like Dan Orlowski.
Any way we want. We often can take numbers and we'll fit them into the narrative that we want to try and paint. And I probably am guilty of this. Can take numbers and skew them any way we want. We often can take numbers and we'll fit them into the narrative that we want to try and paint.
Yeah. The guy that said that Carson Wentz has Hall of Fame pedigree. I don't know what that means. That's some more of that bullcrap that they've made up, and that Carson Wentz, is special and can do things like, no other quarterback can do out there. Yeah. Well, yeah. Here it is. Regular price, $149, reduced to $27. Should I get one for Philly 500? Should I? Or is it still overpriced? I'm thinking it might be still overpriced. I'm thinking they should probably pay people to take them off their hands because they're taking up valuable space for, other players that they might make money on. Anyway, be that as it may, our Dallas Cowboys, along with the Pittsburgh Steelers, get to open up training camp a week before everybody else because they will be playing on August 5th. Less than 3 weeks. The Pro Football Hall of Fame game. We know that that's a meaningless game. It's a scrimmage, but it's okay because we have so many guys that are going to be fighting for positions. And it's funny because we have guys that you forget about that we've drafted or have signed and things because we're focused in on the big names. And sometimes it's those guys are the ones that end up surprising you and wowing you, and you'll start hearing things about, this guy, such and such, and we're like, who? But what about, the guy we drafted? It's not always the guys that you draft that come through and become the Hall of Famers. Drew Pearson has definitely let us know that because Drew Pearson was undrafted. And the funny thing is, do you know that there's more players who were undrafted in the Hall of Fame than there were number one picks? Now, granted, that's kind of skewed because there's a lot more players that were undrafted versus number one picks. There's only one number one pick every year. But when you talk about the number one pick, that guy is supposed to be the best of the best. So you have a lot of people that miss on both ends of the spectrum. But as we get to camp, the thing that you have to wonder, we sometimes are fed a whole bunch of stuff. It's kind of like Subway. Subway says it's a tuna sub, but then they do DNA and they find out there's no actual tuna. Maybe it's a different kind of fish, but it's not tuna fish. You know what I'm saying? You're fed stuff and you're told this is a tuna sub when it's not really a tuna sub, you get pepper. They used to have fake pepper. I don't know what fake pepper is and why you would need to make fake pepper. But for a while there, Taco Bell had fake pepper. It seemed to me that taking peppercorn is about as simple as it gets. Seems like if you got to make fake pepper, it seemed like it'd be harder to do, but that's the kind of thing they serve it. They still call it pepper. but it wasn't. And so we've been sold a whole bunch of stuff that, Zeke Elliott is in the best shape of his life. We've seen him working out like crazy, looking like the Incredible Hulk. We've seen him at Dak's house, which I am so happy to see Dak and him working out, because this is the last weekend. This is the last hurrah. This is the last time that you know that your body is not going to be aching, because from Tuesday on, everything as far as your body goes will be going downhill. You're going to be hitting every day. Well, actually, let me stop there. I forgot. It's not like back in the day when I played football. And you have to understand, when I started playing high school football, when they first started just giving you water breaks. My brothers, when they went to school, they didn't believe in giving you water. If you needed water, it was because you were weak. You pass out, man, get off that field, man. You're weak. No, you're freaking dehydrated. You need some damn water. 2-a-days in the heat. Now, you got 16 padded practices for training camp. But from this point forward, it's really not about who's in the better shape. It's really about who's in the least injured category, who is still physically able to perform, and who is better off making it through the season that is. And now we have a 17th game. This is going to be interesting to see. So do we believe the hype in Zeke Elliott? Do all these workouts that we've seen him in, do we believe that Zeke Elliott is going to get back to his form of where he was a couple years ago? I say, if Tyron Smith and Lyle Collins are there, I'll say if Tyler Baddish takes a step forward, I'll say if Zach Martin returns to his usual all-pro form, and that Connor Williams can continue to play well, I say hell yeah. It's a no-brainer. I dare say if that offensive line plays well, that almost any running back will be able to perform behind that line. Because the thing that's going to be so different, and people will constantly say that, it's just Zeke, it's just Zeke. No, it's not Zeke. It's not just Zeke. It's the whole thing collectively. The Dallas Cowboys will be able to spread out the field. You cannot concentrate on only one thing with this offense. If the offensive line can protect and block, there's nothing that this team can't do. We can beat you with a shootout. We put 3 wide outs, 4 wide outs, and just go. We can bludgeon you to death with Zeke Elliott. We can dictate the game that we want to play. Or we can just match up and go where you're not. And so with that being the case, with an offense that can score that much, I think the Cowboys are going to, or I think it would be wise to, and we'll see what Kellen Moore does. They'll be able to, I would look at using the pass to set up the run. You come out, you start getting the ball downfield, making the cornerbacks have to cover, keeping them from getting into 8-man fronts. But if they want to be in 8-man fronts, then we'll just pass the ball all day. That's cool. That's cool. They'll be able to do things like come out in 2 tight end sets. 2 tight end sets get the defense to think that it's a run play, 8-man front, turn it into 5 wideouts. Go into an empty backfield by shifting, pre-snap motion. So if we're able to do those things, if we're able to jump on people early, then the second half will be cruise control. Let's slow down the game. Let's eat some clock. Zeke, eat. So from that standpoint, I think Zeke will be able to rebound. We'll have to wait and see, but this is the last weekend. We have had a great offseason that has been incredible. We got our quarterback signed. He's back 100% healthy. We didn't have other major injuries where guys are having to recover other than Amari Cooper's foot. We've had no offseason drama of, contract holdouts or guys getting in trouble that we got to wait for the commissioner. We don't have a Randy Gregory watch to see, will he be reinstated or not, or is he going to be suspended? We've had full participation in OTAs and minicamp where other teams have got guys that aren't even sure if they're still going to be playing football for them. This thus far leading up to this training camp, and I hope that I didn't just jinx it, knock on wood, has been about as good an off season as the Dallas Cowboys have had in a long time. I can't remember one without any drama. It's made it actually harder for us YouTubers because we don't have as much stuff to talk about. But I'm actually thankful that it's the case that we'll be talking about meaningful games in December and hopefully January and maybe into February. That being said, Jobu Sports Report and Broke Ass Media, we're always on the go. And we must hit the road and take care of business. And, I multitask everything. I'm constantly doing more things than not. A lot of times, like my wife, we were on a call, we were listening to some stuff and all that. And while I'm listening to the call, I'm actually going through and I'm scanning stuff on my phone. And she's looking at me like, are you paying attention? She's like, yes. She just said blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, because you don't have enough time to do things solely one at a time. You've got to be able to multitask these days, or at least I do, to try and keep up. And I love it.
Our folks here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report.
And the only thing else I got to say is